If you're watching this and you like the same music as me, you've probably at some point tried to buckle down and start learning some real music theory. You've seen Jacob Collier, Tyler the Creator, and even on here people like Prod Zoriel, even maybe myself, and you see all the chords we play, maybe some of the scales that we're throwing out, and you're thinking it's super fire, you want to be able to do the exact same thing, but you're not feeling like you know where to start. I know that learning music theory can feel super tricky to get into, and it can feel like it's one of those things that's super gatekept. I myself have no formal training around music theory, but I was able to teach myself. So I'm going to teach you the exact processes you need to start learning music theory, being able to actually apply it to your music, and the mindset that you need to be in to stop you from failing every time so that you can actually start seeing some real progress. And by the way, guys, if you're watching along and you want to be able to learn exactly how I go through the process of finishing tracks, I've got a new training that's out. It's a really super helpful kind of framework that I use. Print it out, stick it on your wall so that you can learn how to finish every single track, and it comes along with a video teaching you how to apply those concepts. So check that out. That'll be linked in the description, totally free. So to help with this, I actually want to take you back to the way that I started learning music theory. When I was a kid, the way that I actually kind of started dipping my toe into music and music theory at all was through a group of friends of mine. I must have been maybe 12, 13 years old, and before I'd even picked up my instrument, I just spent the summer holidays trying to learn how to play guitar and miserably failing. But I guess through the ether, someone had found out that maybe I'd learned to play a little bit of guitar. I was awful at it at the time. I knew nothing. And I remember two of my friends came up to me and they were like, look, we're already musicians. We heard that you're a musician. Total lie at the time. And they were like, we need a third person to be in this band to perform at this tiny little bandstand. It was basically nothing. And before I even felt confident enough to be able to play anything on the guitar, I just said yes. I was just like, you know what? Throw myself in at the deep end. They already know what they're doing. I'm just going to give it a try. So they gave me a couple songs that we needed to learn. And there was a small moment of like trial by fire of just having to learn the absolute basics. Okay, how do I learn these simple songs? What do chords even mean? What does any of these kind of scales mean? Anything like that? How can I structure these things and learn to play them on the guitar? That was where I learned the very basics of music theory, the triads, the foundations of a scale, maybe a C or G or A. Why is that so important? The thing that was incredible was after learning and performing it that first time and being able to use it on maybe 3 or 4 different songs, I literally never forgot it. It was locked in. Contrast that with maybe spending an hour on YouTube trying to learn those same techniques, and then somehow a week later you're like, I don't even remember how to apply it. What was the difference between me having something, learning a concept, and it sticking with me for life, versus you trying to learn a new concept, you're trying to add something into your repertoire, and it just doesn't stick, and then you're back to where you start? The thing that broke it apart for me, that was absolutely different, was that pressure of having to be able to perform it in the next week or so meant that I was instantly applying the things that I learned. And this is something that I'm seeing that really is crucial to kind of internalize all of these concepts that you might be buckling into. I think the way that music theory gets spoken about can be a little bit confusing. It can feel like it's something that you need to take a weekend out, learn music theory, learn all of it, complete it, and then by Monday morning, you know music theory, you can carry on going. I have not found that to be the case. In fact, with my particular journey, I know even now, I don't know all of music theory. I haven't completed anything, right? All I've done is taken small sections of the music that I love and the music that I'm trying to enjoy and internalize them by applying them in specific aspects and apply them in specific places. So it should be a continual process of finding pieces of music theory that you enjoy, finding sounds that you enjoy, chord progressions that you enjoy, pulling them in and finding how you can apply them in different contexts, in different ideas, in different places. Okay. And if you're finding this helpful and you want to go way deeper on learning music theory with a mentor, check out my coaching program, Producer Mastery. That's literally where I'm coaching people one-on-one with exactly how they can learn the music theory like Tyler the Creator, Thundercat, Daniel Caesar, and learning how to apply those to their music so that they can generate a unique sound and start elevating their beats. We've had some incredible success stories like Simba, Crystal, Tyler. Check those all out on the page, then book a free call with me to chat about if it's the right fit for you, and I'll catch you there. Back to the video. So how do you go into the vast world that is music theory and start picking up parts that you want to learn that is intriguing to you, because there's so many different genres, there's so many different ways of applying this, there's different instrumentation. It can feel super overwhelming, and you can easily end up learning the wrong thing that you'll never use again. So what do I like to do? What do I like to teach? You should work backwards from songs that genuinely you enjoy, songs that you genuinely like to play. I'll give you some real solid examples. I must have been 12 years old when my dad and myself, we dragged back this old, cheap, dirty organ. At the time, it wasn't even a keyboard, it was an organ, right? It must have had like 8 keys on the bottom, 8 keys on the top. That was what I was using to try and learn keys and learn piano and learn music theory. I would go to my friend's house because I didn't have Wi-Fi where I lived, and I would try and learn something like Empire State of Mind, right? Maybe I can't remember how it goes. I would try and hold my fingers in the exact same shape that I had played while I was walking home, so that I could try and apply it on my own organ, right? This was how I was internalizing the ideas of triads and ideas of 7th chords. The very first song I learned was Plan B. She said, I love you, boy, I love you so. First of all, I really enjoyed the song, so I enjoyed playing it. It gave me that sense of satisfaction, gave me that dopamine hit to be able to apply what I just learned. And it was really simple, crazy simple. It was like 2 chords. Said, I love you, boy, I love you so. Said, I love you, baby, oh, 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 oh. Okay, so at the time for me, that was super revolutionary. I would want to show it to my friends. I would want to put it in all of my beats. I'd be like, okay, this A minor to E minor is so cool. And you start thinking about and applying things and playing with the idea in yourself, where it's like, okay, if I can play this A minor, what happens if I play this? Okay, sounds a little bit different. And then all of a sudden you're coming up with your own chord progressions. Playing around with the ideas, with the concepts, right? What's the second song that I learned? The song that broke 7ths for me, it actually almost felt like I learned it from first principles, because I was playing around with the idea when I thought I'd invented it. Literally when I was like, oh, if I can play this 3rd note, oh, this 4th note sounds absolutely crazy. So the next song that I learned that kind of showed me how to apply those 7ths that I just learned was Alicia Keys, If I Ain't Got You, right? So playing these, just want it all, but I don't want nothing at all. Fear ain't you, baby. If I ain't got you, baby. And I'm telling you, the dopamine hit I got after learning how to play that was crazy. I was so proud of myself. And that kind of reinforcement is so important when you're trying to figure out where to take the music theory, where to go next with it, where to start applying these things in different situations. I'm like, okay, so if I can play this is also the introduction that I had into inversions, where I'm like, okay, the C is here and there's no C in my right hand. How is that even possible? Oh, we're playing 2 7ths. Okay, so you have to work backwards and figure out the blanks from the music that you love, from where you are, and piece out the roadmap that tells you the music theory pieces that you need to learn. When you do it that way, you'll internalize all the concepts, and you'll also find out why you can apply certain things here. Where I'll be like, okay, if I just play this chord, I can say to myself, okay, if I've learnt my scales, then I know that this is this, this and this is this and this is this. That means theoretically I should be able to add this note, right? Yeah, you absolutely can. And I can also add this note, right? Oh yeah, 100%, because we've learnt the scales that are underneath it now, okay? So, okay, so now I can do something that jazzes up that idea. And it's like, okay, if I'm playing this, does the same thing apply if I wanted to put it over here? Yes, it absolutely does. Incredible. So find your favorite songs, break them apart, try and understand them using music theory as your guide, and then add that to your toolkit. You don't have to try and learn everything at once. And the key is to start instantly applying everything that you learn, even small chunks. Apply it in as many different ways as you can. Where it's like, as an example, if you learn just an idea of this step between these two creating kind of a dissonant feel, straight away you should be trying to apply that to, okay, dark beats or gross beats, I don't know, something crazy that you can use. And not only will you find new context to apply it, it will really start to stick, and you'll start to be able to compound all of these different learnings that you're having. One other thing I'll mention is, I remember when I tried to learn through YouTube, and I'm guilty of this as well, there's a lot of things out there that will try and kind of like compartmentalize parts of the music theory, which is absolutely fine, but I would try and learn those like systems. You see those things like the jump flip method or the switch grip twisty flip kick method for applying this or whatever. I do it as well, I get it, it's like a way to kind of draw you in and stuff. Nothing wrong with it per se, but I would try and learn that alongside conventional music theory as well. It can feel a little bit boring to talk about scales, sharps and flats, keys, voicings and all that sort of stuff, and it can feel way more overwhelming. I know it's way easier to have someone just be able to tell you, oh, all you need to learn is step and then step up 2 and then step up 3, but the reason I like to have that alongside conventional methods is it transports way further. But now that I understand kind of music theory in its like in a more overall sense, or at least the way that it's standardized, I can apply what I play on the keyboard to the guitar and to the bass and to the drums in terms of rhythm. And when I explain it to my friends, I can say, okay, I need you to play a 2/5 in the key of C. Having that language means that it applies in so many different contexts, and you can talk to other musicians in a way that they understand as well. That's invaluable to be able to try and bring everything that you've learned into all of these different places, because it's a language that sits underneath all of your beat making, all of your live performances, all different genres, everything like that. And then if you only have one way of applying it, it can kind of restrict you. So yeah, try and jump into the scales, try and jump into the conventional stuff. I can't read music. I'm learning reading music right now because it's just another avenue that I can go down. But again, I'm trying to apply the exact same things. I'm taking things that I enjoy, that I want to be able to read, and I'm learning that, so that I can get the dopamine that comes from being successful. And it doesn't feel like a massive slog of, okay, learn lesson 1, lesson 2, lesson 3, lesson 4, up to, lesson 750, to the point where you're like, nah, let me just throw this to the side. You know what I mean? So that's everything. Let me know if you guys like these things where I kind of dig a little bit deeper into how I'm learning these concepts. If you want to learn music theory as well as every other aspect to help you elevate your beats, check out my private coaching program, Producer Mastery. That's exactly where I'm teaching people to elevate their music. It's where you want to be. Check it out, book a call with me to have a conversation about whether you're the right fit, whether it's the right fit for you, and let me know if you like these, man. I'm trying to open up, be a little bit more honest about what I'm working on. I'm going to show you some of my EP stuff, going to show you some of my things that I'm learning as well, because I'm forever a student. If I learn something, if I have some experience, I'm gonna keep you guys updated. So I'll catch you guys in the next one. If you want to see how I set up my templates so that I'm playing all these keys, playing all my live instruments, and it just runs in to my Ableton template seamlessly, check out this video right here.